Your Excellency, on social services and poverty eradication, strengthen monitoring mechanisms to enforce adherence to labor laws, especially in the private sector. Develop a program that ensures efficiency, transparency, equity, inclusivity, and speed in the distribution of drought relief to all vulnerable citizens immediately. Expedite the authorization, including digitalization of the National Disaster Management Center. Develop an effective incentives program to harness corporate social responsibility contribution to all communities. Ensure the urgent development and implementation of a comprehensive and transformative program that is consistent with an upper middle income society for civil servants' working conditions. Urgently review the public and private pensions policies to improve and safeguard the welfare of pensioners and the parameters of strengthening all pension funds is guided, amongst others, by the Justice Commission report. Ensure that all presidential empowerment programs are implemented in an efficient and transparent manner, strictly for the benefit of targeted communities. Establish secondary school teacher training colleges in every province. Expedite the upgrading and registration of satellite schools through the Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education. Adequately stock all health facilities with essential drugs, medicines, and equipment. Capacitate all provincial and district hospitals with ambulances. Expedite completion of Rupane Provincial Hospital. Also expedite the development of Rupane as a provincial capital for Matabeleland North. Upgrade and increase the number of nursing schools. Expedite the establishment of the School of Hospitality Industry in Victoria Falls. Capacitate the School of Mines in order to increase enrollment of trainees. Accelerate the provision of low-cost housing. Ensure that leaders' arrears arising from basic education assistance model BIM commitments are cleared and funds due under the program are timelessly released. Ensure that BIM beneficiaries are not sent away from school due to delayed payment of fees. Provide free healthcare services for the elderly, minors, persons with disabilities, marginalized, and vulnerable. Review policies and strengthen the legal framework to curb the distribution of drugs and substances. Improve the operational efficiency of ZUPCO buses in both rural and urban communities and ensure affordable fares. Expedite the construction, rehabilitation, and capacitation of deep tanks in all the provinces. Ensure that activities of land and space balance are curtailed through the accelerated development of master plans and digitization of the state land bank. Raise awareness on the preservation of the rights of widows and widowers on inheritance of estates and review asset duties downwards. Establish mobile health care facilities in all communities where there are no primary and maternal health care services. Establish functional and resourced mothers' shelters as well as visual inspection with acetic acid and camera screening equipment at all health facilities. Expedite the establishment of the National Health Insurance Scheme. Develop and implement a program that supports the existing government policy that aims to provide free of charge health services for pregnant and lactating mothers, children, under 5 and those aged 60 years and above. Strengthen enforcement of laws related to gender-based violence, rape, murder, and child marriages. Ensure that women, children, and persons with disabilities and other vulnerable groups directly benefit from government programs. Ensure that there be a program that guarantees the availability of medicines for chronic illnesses and diseases. Ensure that the recruitment of candidates for the Zimbabwe National Youth Service is done in consultation with the party provincial leadership. Develop a policy that prioritizes qualified graduates from the Zimbabwe National Youth Service for employment opportunities in the public sector. Intensify the establishment and rehabilitation of vocational training centers in every administrative district. Sustain the implementation of policies that prioritize marginalized communities in line with the thrust of leaving no one and no place behind. Ensure that local authorities adhere to the call by the President that they provide services to the citizens in line with a call to action, no compromise to service delivery blueprint. Your Excellency, on infrastructure and utilities, to intensify the upgrading and modernization of irrigation and power generation infrastructure at existing water bodies, as well as installation of irrigation and power generation infrastructure at any idle water body. To expedite the operation, including digitization of the National Disaster Management Center. Prioritize funding for the completion of the Gwai, Shangani and Kunchi dams, to recapitalize the Rural Infrastructure Development Agency (RIDA) to strengthen the development agenda. To expedite through the extended emergency road rehabilitation program the completion of infrastructure and rehabilitation of all major roads. To increase rural electrification with focus on renewable energy. To expedite the development of infrastructure at gazetted border posts. To improve radio and television reception in under-serviced areas. To improve tele-density and telecommunications reception in under-serviced areas. And to embark on an accelerated development program to reduce the power generation deficit, to rehabilitate, refurbish, and maintain all state buildings, to speed up the rollout of e-government services, including e-learning services. Your Excellency, coming to the value addition and verification, to intensify efforts on value addition and beneficiation of all resource endowments, to ensure that investors are given incentives that encourage them to purchase raw materials from local producers, to develop innovations that can be patented and packaged for uptake by industry to enable manufacturing of intermediate goods, to expedite the localization of the fertilizer value chain and other agricultural inputs, to accelerate the implementation of Zimbabwe Industrialization, Recovery and Growth Plan to enhance manufacturing capacity and value addition in the pharmaceutical, iron, steel, timber, agro-value chain and mining sectors, to expedite the passage in Parliament of the amendment of the Mines and Minerals Bill, to establish industrial parks in all provinces to drive rural industrialization and employment creation, to accelerate the revival of national railways of Zimbabwe to enable efficient and cost-effective movement of cargo in order to promote trade and prolong the lifespan of the rehabilitated roads, to enforce the reserved sector measures on the movement of heavy minerals with adequate safeguards against profiteering. To expedite the establishment of laboratories for testing of minerals. To finalize the digitization of the mining title management system, commonly referred to as the mining cadastral system. To upscale the formalization of the informal sector to enhance their participation in the value addition and beneficiation value chain. To ensure funding for retooling small and medium enterprises in the value addition and beneficiation value chain. To strengthen the enforcement of legislation and regulations to combat the proliferation of fake products, counterfeit, underweight, hazardous, improperly labeled and smuggled goods in order to enhance consumer welfare and fair trade in the marketplace. To expedite the review of laws on competition and anti-monopolies to enhance fair trade and competition. Your Excellency, coming to the engagement and re-engagement, there is one resolution to engage the British government to fulfill its promise to contribute financially to pay off compensation to former white commercial farmers. On provincial economies, Your Excellency, the resolutions are: government conducts quarterly computation and publication of provincial gross domestic product data to inform economic development policies and track progress. Government should expedite the promulgation of the Provincial Councils Act to establish clear governance structures and ensure effective service delivery. Government timelessly disburses devolution funds to support transformative projects in all provinces. Government coordinates awareness meetings on devolution programs targeting rural areas to promote citizen participation. That government ensures processing factories are established in areas where resources are extracted to promote local economic growth. Government should disburse devolution funds allocated for construction and upgrading of new and existing infrastructure. That government curtail activities of land, I think I've already read that. Government enforces policies, I've also read that already. Government ensures that local communities participate in developmental projects domiciled in their area. Government should provide training and capacity building programs for provincial officials to enhance governance and service delivery. Government should encourage public-private partnership to support provincial economic development. Government should prioritize environmental sustainability in provincial development projects. Government should ensure access to quality social services, including healthcare and education in all provinces. Government should establish disaster risk management plans and emergency response systems in all provinces. On the Liberation War heritage, Your Excellency, the resolutions are that we enjoin government to expedite the vetting of outstanding war veterans of the liberation struggle, gazette the names of veterans of the liberation struggle, and make timely payments of appropriate gratuities and issue recognition awards. To include all categories of veterans of the liberation struggle in the 20% quota allocation reserved in the respective sectors of war veterans. Direct government to implement a robust program to refurbish and maintain all national, provincial and district heroes' shrines. Enhance protocol policy to recognize veterans of the liberation struggle at all state occasions. prioritize the disbursement of resources for exhumations and reburials of veterans of the liberation struggle, protect veterans of the liberation struggle from land evictions and undue development planning by local authorities that affect veterans of the liberation struggle and their lawful dependents, to direct the government to establish provincial museums to preserve the memories of the liberation struggle coupled with an autobiography center, to accelerate the renaming of streets, avenues, schools, institutions, and buildings after veterans of the liberation struggle, to direct government to accelerate renaming of provinces and do away with colonial names which divide the nation, to develop a policy for the design and erection of statues of national heroes in the provinces, to implement a policy that will guarantee state-assisted burials for liberation war heroes and liberation heroes, to establish specialized medical facilities to provide comprehensive medical schemes and post-war counseling services to cater for the veterans' ever-increasing war-related ailments, to enjoin government to create land tax and other tax exemptions for war veterans, to enjoin government to allocate land in local authorities for the implementation of war veteran projects as part of economic empowerment and full participation in commercial businesses, to establish a veterans bank as part of the economic agenda with government guarantees and grow business fraternity that is responsive to the socio-economic demands of the target veteran of the liberation struggle, to confer on veterans of the liberation struggle due recognition in public space and institutions, respect and suitable welfare. Your Excellency, on culture and religion, the resolutions are to recognize and memorialize the role played by spirit mediums in the First and Second Chimurenga Wars, to implement a robust program to refurbish and maintain all national, provincial and district hero shrines, to facilitate a national bira annually in liaison with traditionalists, to review the chief's regalia to reflect Zimbabwe's culture and national ethos. On women affairs, Your Excellency, the resolution is that government avails economic empowerment opportunities for women to have access to businesses that provide them with a competitive edge, to address the challenges affecting women and widows on issues of inheritance of estates of deceased husbands, and that widows must not pay heavy taxes when changing ownership of properties after the death of their husbands. On youth affairs, that the party directs government to establish new and upgrade existing vocational training centers and recreational facilities to curb idleness that leads to drug and substance abuse. That the party directs government to make use of ZIMDE funds to construct and refurbish vocational training centers. That government establish more vocational training centers. That the party directs government to expedite that I've already read. That the party directs government to continue accelerating empowerment programs, including mining concessions, land, skills training, affordable access to capital and education. That government capacitate the youth desk in every ministry, department and agency. That government should extend quotas in the allocation of residential and commercial stands for the youth. That the party directs government to provide affordable and accessible education from primary to higher and tertiary and support those with exceptional talent in order to reduce the brain drain. That the party directs government to put in place mechanisms to protect the interests of those who seek employment outside the country. That the party must ensure that attendance at Chitepo School of Ideology is made compulsory for every member of the Zanu PF Youth League. That the party directs government to fully capacitate Empower Bank for it to decentralize to districts and effectively fund youth income generating projects. That the party directs government to institute empowerment projects specific to provinces according to special economic interests. That government ensures that the recruitment of National Youth Service Zimbabwe be done under the supervision and consultation of the party provincial leadership. That government introduces mandatory National Youth Service in the national schools curriculum. That government withdraws all hoarded mining claims and those under EPOs from big companies that remain undeveloped and reissue to the local youth. That the party directs government to consider the appointment of youth in boards of parastatals, and that government must honor the 20% youth share quota, and that the party directs government to enforce the constitution against homosexuality and other social ills. That government expedites the construction of multi-sporting discipline infrastructure in all the districts. To direct all of authorities to channel 10% of their revenue towards promotion of sporting facilities. And to speed up the planned establishment of a dedicated sporting channel on national television to promote and encourage youth activity. On environment and climate, Your Excellency, the resolutions require that the party directs the government to enforce the ban on riverbed mining and accelerate river desiltation program. That the party enjoin government to expedite the operation of helicopters to assist human-wildlife conflict and air rescue. To prioritize management of human-wildlife conflict. To institutionalize gastronomy tourism in conjunction with township tourism to create employment and boost revenue inflows. To explore alternative ways for the country to unlock value in ivory to fund wildlife management and community program. To accelerate climate-proofing programs and initiatives to mitigate the negative effects of climate change. That government continues to intensify environment management programs so as to keep the country clean, ensuring people benefit from safe and clean environment. That government follows up on the effective implementation of resolution. Your Excellency, allow me now to revert to resolutions on the state of the economy. I'll skip the first resolution. I'll deal with it later. On the state of the party, that the party and government should establish a comprehensive framework that ensures that the principle of party supremacy over government is followed. That the Chitepo School of Ideology should decentralize its training programs to administrative districts for the benefit of party members, government employees, the private sector, and the general populace. That the party's conflict resolution committee should be proactive and come up with programs that detect, resolve, and mitigate conflict within the party. That the party should expedite the digitalization of its cell village registers to ensure credible party voters' rolls during party elections so as to minimize election-related disputes. That the government prioritizes the employment of national youth service graduates who have the requisite qualifications. That the party district executive chairman be allocated motor vehicles to effectively enhance their mobility in executing party programs. That the party amends the party constitution to recognize non-combatant cadres and all collaborators as categories forming part of the veterans of the liberation struggle. That 1st July of each year be declared a public holiday in honor of the late VP Dr. Joshua Ngoma. That political returnees from the opposition be integrated into the party after following proper procedures, thereby ensuring their progressive ascendancy in the party structures. That the party internal election processes should strive to achieve the implementation of the 50-50 gender equality policy. That the party should create a level playing field to allow women access to positions of authority within the party, in government, and in other institutions. That the party establishes information desks at each district coordinating committee. That attendance at Chitepo School of Ideology sessions be encouraged for all members. That the Nanga Gota programs being implemented by our First Lady be supported by the party. Lastly, Your Excellency, allow me to deal with this resolution. Your Excellency, Your Excellency, all provinces resolved for an extension. I will read the resolution which all provinces passed and which was also supported by the thematic committees which sat yesterday and today. And this resolution appears in all the thematic committees. And this is the resolution. That the President and First Secretary of Zanu, His Excellency Comrade Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa's term of office as President of the Republic of Zimbabwe and First Secretary of ZANU-PF be extended beyond 2028 to 2030. Let me continue, please. Let me your ears. Let me your ears. That the party and government should therefore set in motion the necessary amendments to the national constitution so as to give effect to this resolution. I want us to understand, please, listen, please, quiet, please.
Musangano wakazoguma usisina kushakumira zvakanaka tiregererei musadaro leadership ichona yo point yanzwika.
Pambene Zanu PF, pambene kubatana pasi vemantu. I understand clearly the motivation behind the resolution. We have scored great achievements in a very short of time under the leadership of His Excellency the President. So I understand the motivation is that these achievements should continue. However, our department was being asked the question, is it legally possible? And the short answer I gave was that yes, it's legally possible. But listen, but to achieve it, we will need two separate constitutional amendments. One amendment to remove the presidential term that is fixed in the Constitution. The next amendment, constitutional amendment, should be to remove the disability that the Constitution places on His Excellency to serve beyond 2028. Listen, and the constitutional bills must be separate, not in one constitutional bill. And each constitutional bill must be followed by a referendum. So we are looking here at two constitutional amendment bills going through all the motions and also two separate referenda. So I thought on this amendment I should seek instructions from His Excellency the President. I was granted a meeting in August where I raised the issue and to find out what his position is. I was given an answer, but I was not satisfied. I asked it again for a meeting mid-September, again to seek an answer. I was given the same answer that I was given in August. But just to be sure whether I was in the right direction, I called and asked for another meeting, which His Excellency granted me on Tuesday. And this time I had a witness. I was not alone, fortunately. I was given the same answer that I was given in August, in September, and on Tuesday. Just before I took the podium, I whispered in the ear of the President, "Is what you told me on the 3 meetings still stand?" And he was emphatic, "It still stands." Now, what is that answer? And in fact, I must say, each time I went to ask, I got the impression that he was angry with me for raising issues where he had made pronouncements locally and while he was in the People's Republic of China. And I felt that, given my position, I should always heed what the leadership says. But I wanted to get it from the horse's mouth. Now, His Excellency's answer, and I want to repeat what he said on Tuesday. And many of you have heard it on many occasions, that His Excellency says he is a constitutionalist, and for certain I know His Excellency is a constitutionalist. And furthermore, His Excellency's hand was involved in the drafting of the current constitution. Those of you who remember, I was chairing the party, I was the chief negotiator in the party subcommittee, and I was reporting to His Excellency for that matter. So I will say that His Excellency had a big hand in the drafting of the current constitution, the national current constitution. So His Excellency is saying, I'm a constitutionalist. I will abide by the constitution, which limits presidential terms, and I have no intention of serving beyond 2028. This will come as sad news to you, but please don't stone the messenger. So where we stand, distinguished delegates, is that of all the resolutions, there is one resolution which cannot be implemented without the express consent and agreement of His Excellency President Dr. Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa. And on Monday, when he told me this, he said, feel free to tell them you consulted me, which is what I am conveying to you this afternoon. So we will have our resolution, but I think we must understand, coming from here, that it will not go anywhere, because His Excellency is emphatic that when 2028 comes, he will not serve beyond that date. He is very emphatic that he had a hand in the drafting and crafting of this constitution, and he cannot be seen nationally, globally, to be the first to violate what he put in place. Pamberi neZanu PF nekubatana nekunzwisisa pasi nemhandu. Your Excellency, that is, I now submit these resolutions for approval by the 21st National People's Conference. I thank you, Excellency.
Zanu PF, oye! Congress, National People's Conference, oye! President Mnangagwa, oye! Pamberi nemali resolutions edu. Pasipasile mandu. On your behalf, allow me to thank the Secretary for Legal Affairs, Comrade Shinamasa, for presenting the 21st National People's Conference resolutions before this conference. Omberera yenye maoko. The conference resolutions, you will agree with me that they were very comprehensive. They were very frank, very open, indeed reflecting the views that our constituencies hold. And thank you very much for representing your constituencies. We therefore are required to make sure that these resolutions are adopted as a true document which reflects our position as the People's Conference. Allow me to invite delegates to move a motion to adopt the conference resolutions. This time, as I had announced, that the resolutions from thematic groups were going to be an addendum attached to the provincial resolutions. But this time, the delays in putting up a document, I want to congratulate the delegates for pushing so that new resolutions were taken on board. Makorokoto kwamuri. I therefore call upon Comrade Masim Mirembra to move a motion for the adoption of our resolutions before the conference. Comrade Masim Mirembra, can you come forward?
Pamberi neZanu PF na President team Mnangagwa Pasne Mandu. His Excellency the President and First Secretary of ZANU PF, Comrade Dr. Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, Her Excellency, the First Lady of Zimbabwe, Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa, the Honorable Vice President and Second Secretary, Dr. C.D.G.N. Chiwenga, the Honorable Vice President and Second Secretary, Colonel Retired KCD Mohadi, the National Chairman and Minister of Defense, Comrade OCZ Michiguri Kashiri, the Secretary General of the party, Dr. O.M. Mpofu. Your Excellency, permit me to ride on protocols already established. Your Excellency, permit me, with your permission, may you allow me, God wills Masimirembwa, Provincial Chairman of Harare Metropolitan Province, to hereby move a motion and propose that the 21st National People's Conference resolutions be adopted by conference as read and presented in this August gathering. I thank you, Your Excellency.
Thank you, Comrade Masimirembwa. Do we have any seconder to that motion? I recognize the chairman of Bulawayo Province, Comrade Jabu, to second the motion. Comrade Jabu, can you come forward?
Pastor Makonda Revolutionary, Your Excellency, the President of Zimbabwe and First Secretary of our party, Zanu PF, a freedom fighter, a former detainee, actually imprisoned here in Bulawayo for a number of years and come to prison. Something I did not know that time, and I think you did not know, that the time you are serving in that prison for fighting for your freedom and your country, at the same time, the chairman of SADC for 2024 was in that cell. The president of our country from 2017 to now was in that cell. The father of a son, twins, was in that cell. So we congratulate you so much for serving our country with dignity and honesty. Our Vice President, Comrade Chiwenga, who have served our country during guerrilla war and served our country in defense of its sovereignty as an armed commander, we recognize your presence. Our Vice President, Comrade Mohadi, I was told by one of our commanders during your time that when you went to Zambezi, you lifted up your hands and said, put a rope on my waist so that I want to try to swim across the Zambezi and go and fight the whites. It was a very difficult task, but you took that task, and we congratulate you for serving now as the Vice President of our country. Yes. Our National Chairperson, Comrade Opam Chinguri, a war veteran at the same time. Our SG, Comrade Opet Impof. The 21st conference has made resolutions that have been explained with a lot of clarity, and the President has commented on those resolutions. So I move the motion, I second the motion that the resolutions that have been passed be looked upon as resolutions of our Congress, and I move the motion to adopt that they be adopted by the 21st conference of our party as the resolutions of ZANU-PF that will control our day-to-day activities. I move the motion.
Pakaoma. Any contrary views to that motion which has been seconded? Are there any contrary views? I don't see any. I so declare that the resolutions be duly adopted by the conference. Comrades, what starts well ends well. Allow me to thank and to congratulate His Excellency for holding this very successful and fruitful conference. Amuchaombereri naye. And also allow me to thank you, the delegates, for exhibiting an exemplary character of listening leaders, because you are all leaders in your respective capacities, from the national, provincial, and district levels, within all the party organs. At this juncture, allow me to plead with you to maintain discipline as I, on your behalf, being humbled and privileged to call upon our President of the Republic of Zimbabwe and our First Secretary of ZANU-PF, although also the Commander of the Defense Forces and Chairman of SADC, to deliver his closing remarks before this very successful 21st National People's Conference. Your Excellency, sir.
and the First Lady, Mai Nangagwa, the Vice President and Second Secretary of Zanu, Comrade General Retired Dr. C.G.D.N. Chwenga, the Vice President and Second Secretary of Zanu, Colonel Retired KCD Mohadi, our National Chairman and the Minister of Defense, Comrade OCZ Chiguri Ashiri, our Secretary General of the party, Dr. Obet Ofu, members of the Provincial and Central Committee, members of the Elders Council, members of the National Consultative Assembly, Minister of State for Bulawayo Metropolitan Province, Honorable Judith Dube, all delegates assembled here. Zanu Bulawayo Metropolitan Provincial Chairman, Comrade Jawlan Span, veterans of the Liberation Struggle, our President of the National Chiefs Council, Honorable Senator Chief Chana Kumalo, and other traditional leaders who are here. The Chief Secretary of the President Cabinet, Dr. Martin Ishwaya, Chairman of the Public Service Commission, Dr. Vincent Ube, senior government officials who are here, the members of the diplomatic corps, representatives of business, students, women and youth organizations who are with us today, our affiliates, you distinguished conference delegates, know what side. Members of the media, comrades and friends, it is my honor to once again be addressing this 21st National People's Conference as we come to the end of our successful deliberations. Allow me to express my gratitude to you all, my dear comrades, for the insights, views, and robust deliberations which characterize this historic conference. The patience and the zeal we have demonstrated in managing the agenda and our program is applauded. And in particular, I would want to thank our national chairman, Comrade Chiguri, for managing this colossal conference with ability, agility, and wisdom. Thank you, my lord. Undoubtedly, this has enabled us to come up with realistic, concise resolutions and people-centered development programs, which are all critical for advancing the interests of our colossal party, Zanu. The summary of discussions by the various committees and overall conference resolutions are indeed our political proclamation and a call Anzi sikafi yangaenda parutivi waita the summary of discussions by various committees and also conference resolutions are indeed our political proclamation and a call to action for more transformative projects which must be timely implemented. We emerge from this conference, in my belief, more united, renewed, recharged, and full of vigor for the work that lies ahead. Therefore, every cadre of the party, from the same national level, has a revolutionary duty to recommit to the strategic vision of our revolutionary party, Zanu. As leaders of the various party structures, we must provide the requisite leadership and demonstrate loyalty to the party. We must maintain the highest degree of unity in thought, in practice, and action, as well as political stance, is the responsibility of us all as members of the Revolutionary Party Zanu. We must lead by example and act in line with the overall interests of the party and our country when performing our duties. Comrades and delegates, ZANU-PF is the party of liberation and the party of the future. We are a colossal mass revolutionary party, and our resolutions, policies and directives affect our society and impact all sectors of the economy. Guided by our sector-specific directives issued by this conference, the concerns of our communities must be comprehensively addressed. No one and no place must be left behind. Our purposes must continue to be intricately linked to the progress and economic rejuvenation of our great motherland, Zimbabwe. We, the current crop of cadres, have an obligation to ensure that ZANU-PF remains the driving force for peaceful development and to build our economy at an accelerated pace. Our 21st National People's Conference theme, Industrialization and Modernization towards the Attainment of Vision 2030, will see us explore new horizons in the ongoing modernization and our industrialization agenda. As we go back and put shoulder to the wheel, we should therefore diligently pursue industrial transformation and robust value chains as a catalyst for sustainable development and competitive industrial base. The interests of ZANU-PF are the interests of the people of our great motherland, Zimbabwe. Our party promises and our party delivers. High impact social development progress must be recorded during the upcoming reporting period. That is ahead of us. Constructive and program-based grassroots engagements and mobilization across all party structures will be key in delivering the desired results. No village, no ward or district can be developed by a bickering and divided people. Unity, 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 peace and harmony are essential cogs to amplify the growth and prosperity our country seeks and deserves. Every department of the party, across all the wings of the party, must study and distill the various aspects in programs and activities which respond to our unique local situations, challenges and opportunities. The party structures at the grassroots level should accordingly receive outcomes of this conference and translate these at community level. Our development philosophy, nyika inovakwa, inotongwa, inonamatirwa nevene vayo. Ilizwe lakiwa, libuswe, likulekelwe. Nani? Hallelujah. This must continue to be embedded in everything that we do and become our way of life. In this regard, young people in particular, within the party and across our communities, should be rooted in this cardinal development principle. After all, they are like seeds that thrive on fertile land and the storehouse of national hope for the growth of a revolutionary mass party, ZANU-PF, and the realization of our Vision 2030. Ngiyalibonga nokutendai bechidiki namadzimai for devoting your energy and ideas for the benefit of our party and the people's revolution. In all seasons and at all times, you have demonstrated, along with the veterans of the liberation struggle, that you are the vanguard, always ready to defend the party. Fellow comrades, distinguished delegates, reinforcing our party's political foundation is a mission without an end and should never be neglected or abandoned. Let us be emboldened by this watershed conference and continue to build our party in tandem with the new socio-economic and technological realities while maintaining the unique ideological DNA that makes ZANU-PF a party that has endured for 6 decades. This is the guarantor that will make our party grow from strength to strength. The importance of unifying leadership and respect of the party constitution cannot be overemphasized. These are fundamental pillars to the culture of ZANU-PF. Stopgap measures are never adequate in bringing about defining and requisite political solutions. Our membership is therefore to boldly move forward in the interests of the party. Tina Secretary of Legal Affairs, Chinamasi. Darling, I'm mad, is it? I'm not going to Dr. Chinamasi, you went in my lawyer. A lawyer is trained to be legalistic. So I was reminding my young brother, but as a lawyer, you must continue wherever you are to be legalistic. At this stage of our political development and maturity of our party, all cadres are challenged to adhere to our deeply entrenched party discipline, rules, and the correct line. The correct line is not established by you and me. The correct line is established by the party constitution. Straying away from the correct line can cause fatal mistakes and dire consequences to our liberation movement and people's revolution. The clarity of purpose, unity and a cordial environment which characterized our conference shamed detractors and dispelled the misinformation that had spread to alarming levels. ZANU-PF is a party of rules and a party of order. Matare umsangano we-ZANU-PF akajeka, hakuna mazake. So the whole party and the party membership should entrench this fundamental character and the trait of our revolutionary ZANU party. As the curtain comes down at this historic conference, let us introspect and examine ourselves. Pauri papo, zibvunze kuti uri munhu akavimbika kumusangano here pachako. Lapo ukona uziuze ukuthi utembekile yini emhlanganeni iqotho angazi. Each of us should never consider ourselves more important than the party. Individually, we must ask ourselves if we are loyal. Are we honest with the party? Are we consistent with the party? Are we persistent with the party? And whether we will persevere with the party. These are the traits of a revolutionary cadre of ZANU-PF. Always strive to attain these traits. If you fail any one of them, one day, unona na igwa, nomusanga na kusana. Those that perpetrate acts of indiscipline, some of which now extend acts of criminality, are dearly warned. The party demands that we respect each other. Respect your seniors and your peers. Palefrieni papo kudzanai. Equally, respect those below you and the leaders above you. A good leader must be a good follower. Individually, we are a core in a much bigger ecosystem. Let us be remembered for uniting the party as well as helping others, and not dividing the party and our people. We must continue to persevere under the party, even at times when it is tough. Mindsets, counter-revolutionary tendencies, favoritism, regionalism and tribalism must be opposed. Similarly, cadres across all levels should reject corruption or the pursuit of ill-gotten gains and privileges. These are the values that we were taught by the founding fathers of our party, Zanu. Warare musangano wetu weZANU-PF harishanduke. Kukapisa, kukatonhora, kukanaya, kukatadzara kuita maguta, rinoramba richingova gwara romusangano. Comrade delegates, ZANU-PF musangano wevanhu. Ngatigarei muvanhu, maintaining strong bonds with the people. Let us go back, therefore, to our respective districts and provinces and tell the people that ZANU-PF is alive, united and strong. Inform them that together, as one unitary and a peace-loving nation, our ZANU-PF party stands ready to register new victories in the social-economic milestones as we go forward. In our march towards Vision 2030, the people of our great motherland, Zimbabwe, shall enjoy the fruits of prosperity and development. Hand in hand, we are moving forward, overcoming obstacles in our way, such as the illegal economic sanctions imposed on us by the West. Under the ZANU-PF-led government, the rise of Zimbabwe is unstoppable. Finally, I congratulate you all for the successful and fruitful discussions during this 21st National People's Conference. We are truly a party that has come of age. I say Makorokoto and so. With these remarks, it is now my honor and privilege to declare our conference officially closed. I wish all journalists to stay home. God
kana president ataura hapachina umwe munhu achataura. Wataura wakamirira ruzhinji rwevanhu nyika yese sapresident. The voice of the people is the voice of God. Saka hapana watovhara. Tavakukumbira iko zvino kuti Bulawayo prophets, Your Excellency, have given me an invitation that they will want to present to you some gifts on behalf of Bulawayo prophets. Chain Bua, Budzi, Goats, a stool, present one omelette, Mashawa, to His Excellency. Who's there? What is certificate? Somebody omelette, Mashawa. Wachite waona Minister of State. Wachapao the First Lady, a basket, the Kubinga, that's what we watching for, our First Lady. Minister of State, can you give us that honor to present to the First Lady? Yekutenda President wetu zvese zvavakatiitira mazuva ese 2 days zvichifara zvakanyanya conference ya pioneer seat yakupa donation